Good morning, everyone. Oh, actually, it's probably afternoon now, isn't it? Beks Thompson here on Bribey, Integrated Health and Personal Development Specialist. And today I want to talk to you about confidence. So, who's on today? And see who is here in their lunch break, perhaps checking us out on Facebook and is interested in learning how to be more confident, because I work with hundreds of women, and as you've probably seen if you follow my page, every month or so we have a group of women that we take through different events, and there are some consistent things that show up that women share with us that they're struggling with. Hey Faith, so let us know if you're here and whether there's something that you struggle with. Now, one of the things is confidence. All right, confidence to show up in the way that they feel drawn to show up, but there's something that's holding them back. So let us know, do you struggle, or at times, not maybe in every area of your life, with confidence? And does it stop you from showing up? Just put a little yes if you know that confidence is something that holds you back in one area of your life, because it can be different areas. You may feel confident in one area, and in another area you know that you're shaking in your boots when you have to do something. So what areas are there that we may have confidence issues? So it might be around putting yourself out there online with your business. It might be getting out and say public speaking. It might be confidence just about sharing your message. It might be confidence about speaking up for what you want in relationship. So there are lots of different areas that confidence shows up. So Faith, yeah, you struggle with confidence. Great. I think so many people do, and that's my experience. Like I say, we run many events. I work with hundreds of women every year, and it's one of the things that holds just about everyone back. So in a moment, we're going to be sharing 4 key practices that if you want to cultivate confidence, you're going to need to do these, because if you can't get over that lack of confidence, all of the above. So if we can't get over that lack of confidence, then we can't move forward. We're always going to have that fear holding us back. Yeah, we're always going to keep stuck in a smaller version of ourselves. And when we diminish who we are, then there is no joy in that. There is more pain, discomfort in that. Yeah. So let us know, what are some of the areas that you struggle with confidence, and why? Right? Now, the bottom line of any kind of fear is a fear that we are going to get annihilated, is a fear that we are going to die. But there are different flavors of that. So we need to explore that before we look at what the key practices are that we need to do. So if you are struggling with confidence, what is it that you are fearful of if you put yourself out there? So if you speak up, if you show yourself, if you share your message, if you speak up, yeah? What is it that you're scared of? There can be a number of things. One of them is rejection, yeah? One of them is just not looking good, like looking bad, being judged for being imperfect, being judged for perhaps for being a fraud. Yeah, that's a huge one that a lot of people in business can feel, that imposter syndrome. Let us know if you're feeling any of these as I'm sharing them with you. A fear of just being judged, a fear of failure, a fear of overwhelm. If you're really successful, and then you've actually got to deal with more stuff. If you're confident and you're successful, then suddenly you might get overwhelmed. Fear from negative feedback, right? So that's fear of being judged. So Faith has just put on how I struggle with accepting myself for who I am now. Is that compared with who you were? So you think others would judge you and talk behind your back. Yeah. So this is all, these fears can often be based on things that may have happened to us in the past, right? And projected fears on what is going to happen in the future. Do you agree? Yeah, our fears are based on things that may have happened in the past, or things that have been said to us, and things that may happen in the future, and not really on the truth of what is now. Oh, before MS, sorry, MS. I didn't know if that was a little typo. Before MS and after MS. Yes, so if we have something, like I say, an affliction, something physically has happened, or even if we've lost a business, if a relationship has, gone sour, there are lots of different ways that can really shake and knock our confidence, right? So this is going to be great. So I'm going to share with you these 4 different ways. So our fear Fear is always based on a projection into the future of what we think is going to happen. And that fear is cultivated from what we may have experienced, or from, like, say, having a big shift, having a difference in what we're telling ourselves, not necessarily what others are telling us. But we can't control what other people tell us, right? But we can do these 4 things that I'm about to share with you. So the first thing, because I've said that fear is always a projection into the future of what we think is going to happen, is we have to cultivate presence. This is number 1. And when I teach presence, we teach it in our deep center, which is in, back and down in pelvic center. So for women, it's about a whole hand's distance below the belly button, low and in, back and down. So we are hugging our awareness, our presence into, for women, womb space, for men's center, hugging in towards the front of the spine and the lower part of the pelvis. Now, if you can do that, what I found, and hundreds of women that work with me and men have found, is that when we live and we bring our awareness down into this place, this is our physical center. This is a still point. As we move around, this is our still point. And if we can fully align and master being here in this still point, in our presence, then nothing else exists but now. So have you heard of the power of now with Eckhart Tolle and other teachers? When we are truly present in our center, there is nothing but now. And so self-consciousness, fear, living in the future, living in the past, it all starts to dissolve away. And we talk about presence, we talk about being in the now, we talk about being mindful, but it's very few people that actually master this ability to stay present in their center no matter what. So that is the number 1 thing you have to practice if you are feeling a lack of confidence around anything. It's better pull yourself into presence, into now, where there is no future, there is no past. And that is one of the key practices. So we have presence of being able to pull your awareness into center and be unwavering in that, no matter what happens, and know that you are unchanging in your center, no matter what is happening in your body, no matter what is happening in your external environment. Until we can align fully with that unchanging self, we're rocked by the world. Do you understand? Does that make sense? So the second thing that we need is we need to be prepared. We need to be prepared to risk. You have to want something so that you are prepared to risk something. And this is the same with everything. If you want to create something, so Faith, if you want more connection and you want to, live a life as best you can with MS, just like you did before, then we need to be prepared to risk the judgment, to risk the failure, to risk being compared. Remember, being practicing being on our still point in our center so that we are unrocked by whatever people may say. Because let's face it, people are going to judge us, whether it is to our face or behind our back, whether we show up or we don't. We'll get judged for showing up, for not showing up, for saying this, for looking this way, for doing something. So we may as well get judged for doing something that makes us feel good, that puts us in a place of growth, right? Rather than staying small and staying diminished. Do you agree? Yeah, because we're going to be judged anyway. People are judging you no matter what. But if you can be in your center and you can be prepared to risk, and chances are it's not going to show up how you are projecting that fear because you're practicing being present. Great, Faith, you love that. Awesome. I'm glad you love it. So we have to be prepared to risk. Are you prepared to risk whatever that fear is in order to get what you want? And this applies to many things. So if you're sitting here watching this, jot this down. Are you prepared to risk? Yeah, to get what you want. If you're not, then you are going to stay where you are. And that lack of confidence, or that dream job you want, or that perfect relationship, you're not going to get it unless you're prepared to risk being rejected or judged or failure. And it's going to happen anyway, because if you don't risk it, you're definitely not going to get it, right? If you don't risk it, you are definitely not going to get it. So at least if you risk, you may be in with a 50-50 chance or an 80-20 chance or something like that. And every time we have a win when we risk, it builds more faith. And every time we have a loss We build more resilience. It's one of the reasons I go climbing. If you watch me when I'm climbing on some of my videos, one of the reasons I go climbing is around confidence. Because if I can be confident on the wall when I'm 3 meters up off the ground and I've got a risk falling, it helps me to be able to sit in fear of judgment and build my confidence and go, you know what? This is just about me. This is just me and my presence, my inner strength, my confidence in me right now. It's not about confidence in anyone else. And I can be unwavering in those other situations. Yeah, so that's the second thing, is we have to be prepared to risk, and we have to put ourselves in those situations so that we can get some wins and we can learn how to be resilient when perhaps we do get the judgment or we do fail, because it will happen. The more you put yourself out there, the more you're going to fail, but the more you're going to win. But as I say to my clients, if you stay where you are, that is a slow path to diminishing more and more and more of yourself. And that is where low energy lies. That is where confusion and overwhelm lies. That is where unhappiness and disease lies. We have to be growing. We have to be building this confidence. So we've got presence and prepared to risk. Now, the third thing is that we do have to practice. We have to practice confidence. We have to put ourselves out there in order to risk, right? So it's a little bit tied up with the risk. We have to practice, but it's great to practice being confident in a group of people that are really supportive. And so this is why I run different group work. Yeah, I have networking events, and we have our Bali immersion coming up, which is our level 2 of our program that I run of Beer Beacon, is a week in Bali. And we do that not just because we want to have a holiday. It's profound, deep, transformational work where we hold women together, because when you can practice putting yourself out there in whatever way that is, whether that's sharing your message in business, whether that is being vulnerable or speaking up as if you were in a relationship, when you can do that with other women, when you can do that with other people, and you get feedback and appreciations on how actually awesomely you are showing up and how much they love you when you're showing up, when you step into that place of power, presence, and confidence, then that helps to feed you and inspire you and nourish you, and know that you can go out with people that you don't know, or maybe it's your family, which can be more challenging, and you can be you, and you can be confident, and you can be successful. So this piece around showing up in a sort of safe space, in a controlled, held environment, is really, really powerful. So if you are not in a tribe, if you are not in a community, then find one. You know, we have the Radiant Femmes movement online. If you're local to us, we have networking events. If you want to put yourself in an immersion, transformative experience guaranteed to flip your life in a 180 and completely expand you, come and join us on one of our half-day trainings or our longer immersions of our inner circle. We would love to have you. You can reach out to me and the team to find out any of that stuff. But if you want to grow, and in particular if you want to grow in confidence, in any other area of your life, to be honest, we need to put ourselves around other people so that we get that appreciation, we get that feedback, we get that in our bodies, in ourselves. We need to feel this, because our fear is based just in our mind that we're not confident. Yeah, the fear's in our mind, and then it's also embodied in some of our emotions, some of our energy, our cellular matrix, if you like. And we need to really embody, we need to receive that we can be confident, that we can risk. Yeah, that we can receive appreciations, and we can only do that in community with other people, in connection with other people. So that's number 3, is practice, right? Put yourself out there in a safe place to start with, and then you can start to build on that. And the last one, and perhaps this should really become first, is we need to forgive our fear of what's going to happen, the reason that we're not feeling confident. All right, so if we've got a lack of confidence, there's some kind of fear, and we need to forgive that, which is why we need to look at kind of what that fear is. Now, it's not necessarily you that's fearful, the now you, the grown-up you. More likely than not, it's a younger you that is feeling that fear. When a younger you has been put down, even Faith, when you were talking about the MS, it might still be a younger version of you where something changed in your life, or you changed, or someone else changed, and they lost connection with people, or they were judged, yeah, or love was taken away. So somewhere, usually in our past, is the root of the story that we've created around we can't show up a certain way, or if we do, it's not going to be great, yeah? And so we don't have to kind of go into every part of that story, but to understand where some of that fear is coming from is incredibly powerful, and to forgive that fear, because you are actually just forgiving the younger version of you, the little girl that had that fear, or that fear was kind of validated, right? Because something happened where you showed up and you were being confident, or something happened and that was taken away, you were judged, or you lost something. Yeah. And so this is sitting with you and your little girl or your little boy, if you're watching, and forgiving that part of yourself that is feeling the fear, and telling that little person, that little girl, that little boy, that you've got this. You are going to hold this space for them to be able to step into and have this conversation that is going to bring you more growth, or put yourself out there, or share this message that you've been waiting to share. And you've got this. You're the one looking after this little girl. You're the grown up. And you're not going to let them down by holding this back. You're not going to let them down by staying small. Yeah? It's this work that we call, if you've heard of inner child work or reparenting, this is where we have to step up as the adult and actually parent ourselves. Yeah? So I would love to hear your take on this. If you're watching the replay, just let us know, and any questions that you have, pop it on and we'll answer any questions. If you want to reach out and you want to know how to connect with our tribe and our women, or the Bali immersion that we have coming up in September that we just do twice a year, let us know. We're actually booking into March as well next year. There is support here for you to really step into your confidence, to step into your purpose, to really be able to show up. And these are 4 ways that I hope will inspire you to do that. So let's just have a quick recap. The first one was presence, being able to align with your center, because that's unchanging, and self-consciousness dissolves in this place and confidence grows. The second one is having to be prepared to risk. You need to be prepared to risk those things that you fear, to show you that half the time it doesn't happen, and if it does happen, to build resilience to it. The third one is to practice stepping into your confidence, practice your message in a place that's safe. So in a supported environment, with a mentor, with a group, with a community, and I can help you with that if you need something in that area. And the last one is forgiveness of fear. Forgiving the little you that is actually feeling this fear, and reparenting, forgiving this little one, because she's just little. So I hope you really enjoyed this. Like I said, if you have any questions, post below. If you know that you have some areas in this, some issues in this area, and you're not getting the help, or you need more clarity to understand what's going on, please feel free to reach out with me. I do one-on-one work as well in programs. And so if you would like a free discovery call, we do that. We offer that for you, so we can really get to the root of something that is a key issue for you moving forward, and see whether it's the right time, right connection in order to move forward. So please do that if you feel like you need some support, or you want any more information on our immersions or in our community. And have a fabulous, fabulous day, everybody. Time to head off for some lunch. Mwah. Big love to you.